Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Anasa. We didn't think we'd be here, but at 4 o'clock on the day of surgery, the voice came back to normal. So not a problem. Energy's still a little bit chaotic, but that's to be expected. So all went well, and we're very, very happy to be here. So let's meditate. Take your attention inside, down just in front of the tip of the tailbone. And breathe into that energy center, feeling for the space between the breaths and where that congruence point, balance point is that opens the energy center. And you can say silent ohms into that space at your own pace. And we'll just move through each energy center. And we'll tell you when to shift. But don't feel like you're stuck at our pace either. And we'll be doing Om 9 times in each energy center. Moving into the energy center just below the belly button. 9 ohms at your own pace. Moving to the solar plexus. Moving to the heart center. Moving to the throat center. Moving to the third eye. And out the top of the head, feeling into the bigger circulation of our energetic field. And now slowly holding your attention inside, feeling into this sacred space that we're made of. Holding that attention, gently, gently open your eyes so that we're in two dimensions at once. But really, there's no separation. So happy to be with you this morning. Unexpected. But it's all good. This is a serious upgrade that, you know, still a little bit unbalanced. That's just a matter of time. So how may we serve this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just want to say I'm so happy to see you and so pleased that all went well and you look wonderful and wish you continued good healing.
Thank you. Well, we'll give you a couple of the gory details, just
Okay.
so
Okay, good.
so um how to keep it out of medical ease. So there was it's called a parathyroid adenoma, which is a benign growth that had uh, gotten into the carotid sheath, the fascia that covers the carotid artery, and also the vagus nerve, two of the major structures that regulate. The carotid artery regulates cardiac function at that location, and the vagus nerve regulates the central nervous system, the ability to relax. So it seems that both of those systems were possibly compromised from that just the position of that adenoma. So it was removed. It's completely benign. It's just a space occupying, overproducing gland. And so because it was producing so much of a hormone that makes your body dissolve your bones and put all the calcium into the blood, that immediately reversed itself. And so now there's kind of a metabolic chaos because for decades that's been happening. And so the other glands have to wake up and take over. And, so that's happening. So, but it will regulate itself. It can take a couple of months to do that. So that's all the physical stuff. And the it's a complete structural reorganization because of that, the freeing up of the cardiac system and the central nervous system and everything re-regulating and reorganizing. We have no idea who we're going to be in a few weeks from now. but uh, it all seems like it's going to be for the good. And yeah, feeling so much better. It's like something was on the brake and the accelerator at the same time. It's what it felt like compared to what's happening now, which is a different kind of central calm that has never been present in this body in memory.
That sounds so wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
It'll be interesting to see how this changes over the next few months.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big roller coaster right now, but very self-absorbing. So I won't bore you with any more of the details, but
Oh, we're interested. We're interested.
trust me, you're not. Poor Andrew. I was like, 1 minute, could you do this for me? Oh no, do the opposite 2 minutes later after he's done it. It's like, oh, so very frustrating to be around me at this period.
Well, God bless Andrew
Yes, God bless Andrew and Brenda and
and Brenda.
Kim. So, how may we serve today? What's been happening?
Well, as you know, I've been a little hysterical about my rent. And so I was researching a different place to live at a better rental price point. And I've also, but I haven't been very pleased with the options. It just seemed like a kind of a punishment to
Yeah.
have to step down from my home that I love. So I've been praying during my meditation and also have gone to the Anasa temple for guidance. And it came to me in my meditation yesterday that I don't have to move. I'm getting along fine as it is, and what a relief! What a relief to know that I can stay here. I can still be in my beautiful home and not go through all the rigmarole of moving and packing and blah 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 blah, which I've been so hysterical about. So for me, that has just been such a miracle, and what an uplifting release. And I think that's because of my new meditation practice and the Anasa temple and just all the work.
Hmm.
So it's just so happy. I'm so happy for that. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, and thank you for sharing that. The power of this practice and the alignment that it allows us to have. I mean, this eclipse is well, it's turning out to be a big turning point uh, for Rebecca in her personal life. Like three major things have just happened. The surgery being one of them. Uh, a patient came by and dropped off a pile of money from a legal settlement from a motor vehicle accident that I treated a year and a half ago. So like unexpected windfall
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
just out of nowhere. And it looks like, a frivolous lawsuit against us will probably be dismissed next week.
Oh
And
my
so,
gosh.
like, three major things that, could have been a drain on the system, just like resolved. Now, we're not sure
Oh,
about the third one, and maybe talking about it too soon will jinx it, but I don't think so. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But it feels like this eclipse, eclipses are harbingers of change. And so what they are teaching is that as you come into alignment, as we come into alignment, we can ride the waves of this change to upgrade everything. And very often, upgrades look like downgrades on the front side. And so we never know which is which, and we never know where the crisis opportunity that presents itself in these situations. We have no idea where it's going to land. And so all we can do is, well, we can say that the first time we meditated after the surgery, Anasa invited us to move into the Anasa temple permanently. And in a way, it was a very tongue-in-cheek invitation because, of course, we all have the option to move into the Anasa temple permanently at any moment. Permanently just means we choose to go back and go back and go back until we actually live there. So it's not like, But it's very similar to the upgrade in your physical place, in being able to stay there and manifest who you really are in that place. And that's happening inside you as well. And so we're all going through this upgrade together in our own ways, and however it manifests for us. But they're showing us how the alignment works with the energy of the natural fields that permeate our lives. Now, it doesn't mean that, it always works to our benefit. If we happen to be in North Carolina last week, or Florida, or any of those places, we would have had a different kind of, destruction and complete reorganization in a different level. And, we have no control over those kinds of circumstances. And so we can be exceedingly grateful that the way it's impacting us in this particular time is in this way. But we can see throughout the environment that there's chaos and destruction happening, but at the same time there's great opportunity, depending on really, I think that we have no control over anything but where we are inside ourselves in a given moment. And believe me, that's the hardest thing to control. And it's not even really about control, which is why it's so hard. If it were just about control, we could make a decision and that would be the decision for life. But it doesn't work like that, because it's really, it's enough control to get ourselves into the driver's seat and then completely let go into that which is real, and allow that to demonstrate whatever it's demonstrating. But we're never really in the driver's seat. We just get in the driver's seat in ourselves and allow ourselves to be in alignment. We do everything we can to participate in alignment and hope that the flow carries us. We pray that the flow carries us. And at the same time, we have to make choices in our lives that continue to choose alignment. And, permanent residence inside our highest self is always the choice we're trying to make. And of course, everything in this experience is temporary. So talking about any kind of permanence in the field of impermanence is a huge contradiction, but you understand that all of this is about balancing opposites and finding that balance point in each axis of the opposites, so that we are not in a reactive state, but we're balancing like a surfboard in the water as the waves do what they do. And so our greatest choice is to choose the Anasa temple and find a balance point in us that works for this moment. Knowing that every moment is going to reveal itself in a different way, and that always, as each moment passes, to stay in this moment. And that's the past now, and this moment, and so we understand that that's what awareness is being in this moment. We hope that makes some sense. It's so interesting. We're being reminded that, there was a shaman in our lives for about 8 years who trained us quite a bit and in energetic work. And he had a big calcium balance problem. That's really what ended his life over time, certainly his productivity before his life ended. We're just thinking of him with gratitude and you know kind of marveling at the synchronicity that we also had a calcium problem and that somehow a solution has presented itself. And yes, it will be chaotic for a while, but probably not forever. So, in gratitude for all that was given and received, and acknowledgement for what was shared, which was truly, truly valuable. And just, feeling the the web of interconnectedness. And he's still quite available in the ether. And my image of him is always riding a motorcycle with a leather jacket on and well, like he comes in and he often will be a protector of our space. So just saying thank you to Shannon. How may we serve? We need you guys to talk a little bit this morning. The voice is getting tired. Mm. Mm.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Oh,
No,
was
you're good.
Nancy,
You're
was
good.
Nancy popping in too?
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to say how happy I am for you. That's such good news.
Mm.
I was thinking about you on Wednesday. I was also on Wednesday just coming back from a trip with my friend who joined us last week, and he got to watch the session again on your channel, and he was just so grateful for what you shared. He was kind of overcome with emotion at the time, but having a little bit of distance and being able to see it again, um, he was just so grateful for that session. I think it really up leveled or furthered his process of grief, that he's still going through. Yeah. So I'm thanking
Oh,
you on his behalf and also on mine always.
oh, yeah. Well, totally welcome. We all are dealing with grief and, facing the grief of our own inevitable demise at the same time. That comes up whenever we're grieving for a loved one, we know we're in line for the exit.
Nice to be here.
So nice to be here with you.
Yeah, really. What a nice surprise that you ended up being with us today. That's great.
Yeah,
And
it was unexpected.
yeah, I was delighted. Gosh, it seemed like a very rough week last week with all that was going on in the world. And I don't know, I I had to jump in bed at one point on that war that broke out between Iran and Israel, and it was just intense, and the energy was just so much. So that was good for me.
Yeah.
And I
Things
was
are
just
definitely getting worse before they get better.
I know, back and forth, huh? Gosh. But I noticed today it felt like a sweet shift is in the air. So that's just what I was feeling. And I'm grateful for that. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I mean, the astrology is it's definitely got its difficult aspects in terms of the mental and emotional as we go forward. So on the 9th of October, sort of lost about what day it is. It's the 5th or 6th today. So right now, Jupiter is stationing in Taurus. Taurus is so Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, and Taurus is the house of physical comforts and luxury and success, ruled by Venus. One of the great benefics in the sky that brings us love and romance and many of the good things in life. And so Jupiter is uncomfortable in that house because Jupiter is about wisdom, which often has to do with not austerity, but it's not about material luxury exactly, although that can come with it. But Jupiter's not particularly happy. Anyway, it as a planet appears to go in reverse in the sky, it first appears to stop. And so at the time that a planet is stopped, it's very, very powerful because it's closer to the Earth than normal. It's moving apparently closer to the Earth. And so it's very powerful, but the energy isn't moving. So it's just like that energy, which is a little bit uncomfortable wisdom, is beaming on all of us right now. And it's as though the wisdom is kind of trapped in a place where it can't really express itself in its complete fullness. That's the feeling of it. And so that's happening in the sky. And then when it goes retrograde, it appears to go backwards. It doesn't actually go backwards, but in that retrograde, that just means that it's going to behave in an unusual way compared to what we would normally expect wisdom to do. And so it's the only prediction we can make is that it will be unusual, our access to wisdom. So, be a little bit careful about making any kind of serious long-term decisions at this particular time, especially right after an eclipse, because all things are kind of in flux in a way that we can't exactly trust that our inner guidance is clear. So that's what we'll say about that. And so it's a little bit uncomfortable. And of course, everything else is moving too, but that's the big thing that's happening in the next week. And so that's all we'll say about that. But Jupiter is the biggest benefic in the sky. It's uh, a lot of our deep happiness, well-being. It's that spiritual love. And Jupiter and Venus are the two gurus. Um, Jupiter is the guru for the gods, and Venus is the guru for the demons. But they're both gurus, and they're both. This is from a Vedic perspective, so it's seeped in Indian philosophy and history. And the way they think of it is that, Jupiter is spiritual wisdom. And Venus is all the luxuries and the romance and the beauty and the finest things in life that we all get to appreciate. And so it's all fine. It's about balance. And we don't need to expect austerity in our lives. We all have periods of it, and we all have periods of other, abundance. And we begin to understand that, we don't have anything to do with it. What's important is how we find our place of equanimity with it inside ourselves. And how we flow with it, because we want to keep the energy moving throughout the various fields of our lives. And so poverty and abundance have different roles as they pass through our experience in teaching us. Such a different experience channeling today. It's like the regulators are gone. Wherever the boundaries are, we haven't found them yet. Andrew, would you get some calcium? Thank you. I forgot to put calcium next to me. Well, I'll tell you sort of a humbling experience through all this. I met with my naturopath last week, and we talked about the best form of calcium to take after the surgery, and because the surgeon had said take just take Tums, and we're both like, calcium carbonate takes 11 enzymatic reactions to be available to the body. And so we're like, oh, we know so much more. We're so sophisticated. So I was going to take this calcium magnesium supplement, which I did, which was liquid because I thought I wouldn't be able to take pills. And so within 24 hours of taking that, there was so much magnesium that magnesium is like the primary ingredient in laxatives, all laxatives. So after taking that to get the amount of calcium, so my chemistry immediately went into this dehydration, getting rid of everything. And so it took me about 24 hours to figure that that was not what I should do and to just take the Tums. And so it was a very humbling experience that Tums are, are what I should be taking at this moment. Mm. I mean, they're telling me that sharing this is valuable because this is how life is for all of us. And it can be a tragedy or a comedy, depending on how we choose to relate to it. And, it's always going to be both in given moments. And so, but after decades of studying medicine, having that experience was just sometimes things are as simple as they appear. And there's so much to be understood from the mundane in our lives. Just keeping our breath going through a day with some awareness is such an education. Really paying attention to where our attention is. It's 1 out of every 1,000 thoughts that's toward God. To take up residence in the Inasa temple, is a gift that's available for all of us. And 10 seconds there changes a lifetime. And you know, sitting here talking to you is not, I'm not different from you. You know, maybe I've turned the page in the book one further than you. I'm not different. It's here for everybody. As much as you're willing to allow it, allow us to be part of. See, there is no separation. It's an illusion. And the only way we can talk about it with the language is as though there's separation, but there's not. The divinity within you is always within you, has always been within you, and will always be within you. And whether we call it God or a Nasa or goddess or divine energy or source or whatever we call it, it doesn't matter. It is, we search for the language that will resonate with whoever's in front of us. It doesn't change what we're talking about. It's this incredible source that we are born into, that the more we can allow ourselves to live in the awareness of that and allow that to permeate every part of our being for as much time as possible. You know, we had a teacher who said that the equation was depth over time. Allowing that awareness to be forefront in our lives. You know, our minds will take that energy and go all over the world and back again in 10 minutes. That 10 minutes in the Inasa temple can open us to something we've never, beyond our imagination. That's how we'll say it. Open us to something beyond our imagination. And what's required is allowing. And there is that within us which wishes to cling to the thoughts, the patterns, the habits of a lifetime, because they are known. And always the known is much less fearful than the unknown. So the challenge is allowing, truly allowing something different in. and letting go of our grasp on what we've always had that we're so tightly clinging to because we don't want it to change, because we don't know what's that change will mean. And we can say over and over that the only experience we've ever had of that change is that it's always an upgrade. It often looks like a downgrade before the upgrade appears. We have a choice. We can sit in a mud puddle in the middle of heaven, or we can actually relax and be in heaven. That's the choice. So we thought even though, transformation is in process and we don't know exactly where or when it's going to land, we thought we'd share it with you anyway. Because it's available for all of us. And it encompasses, the sublime to the ridiculous. What else? Yeah, you can feel it. We're kind of fading. Yeah, we're so grateful to be with you. Thank you for coming. I think we're going to call it, if you don't mind. Yeah, such a joy. We'll see you next week. Yes, right back at you. Big heart. So much love to you. Bye for now.